Hello,
Hi.
episode 230-ish, which is my weight almost. There you go. We're getting there. So when we get to
Julian,
episode 250, I'll be at my current weight.
yes, you're really. So talk about this real quick.
Yeah,
So what's up? How heavy are you? How did you get
I
so
think
heavy?
this is the heaviest I've ever been, actually. The
And
more
you're off the
muscle.
juice. No juice.
No juice. Like, so what we mean by that is no TRT, no. The only thing I take is creatine. Right, so off the juice, off everything. The only time I did juice was before two strongman competitions, about 8 weeks. I think I talked about it, and then every time I used like about 100 milligram of testosterone, which actually was the dumbest thing to do because I probably lower my overall testosterone levels.
Yeah.
That's
But
what happens when you don't do stuff you know nothing about. Yay!
I mean, Rick.
Score. No, that is okay. By the way, yes, I lowered my overall testosterone levels most likely. That does not mean it did not have a positive effect
Yeah.
because I recovered better, things ached less, I had a much better pump and more great workouts. If that makes sense.
Yeah, you
So,
felt better overall, like with testosterone. Does you feel better?
but that's the thing is I felt better, but because my overall testosterone level was most, I didn't test, but most I can tell you it was lower. I probably was not as good but feeling better. So it allowed me to feel more recovered, but most likely wasn't.
Yeah.
So again, that tells you don't do that shit unless you have a
A
doctor,
doctor, right?
unless you do the testing and everything. Don't touch stuff you don't understand. By the way, I'm assuming it was testosterone. I don't even know. They probably shit in it because
Yeah.
don't do that,
I
right?
mean,
Like honestly, if I
listen.
were to do TRT now, I have a friend. He can write me a prescription, and I would get the testosterone in a lab. Then we would do test work so
Yes.
that
Blood
my
test.
testosterone is at X level. So he's at 125 a week. He's at 150. That's how I would do it. Which probably next year I'll do eventually. Although right now, honestly, I don't need it. So
Yeah, so how did you get here? How do you feel overall? Like, do you feel heavier? Like, how
nah.
did you get here? Did you
I,
plan to get here, or was it just
no,
like
no. I
was it?
just wanted to get fucking strong, and then it's just. I mean, it didn't just happen, but there was no plan to get heavier. For example, I'm 250 something right now. I'm actually leaner than I was at 250 at 40.
Yeah,
Yeah, much
yeah.
leaner actually. So
You
yeah,
look
I still
great.
again here too. Don't get me wrong, but I'm much leaner than I was in Torrance doing this full time 10 years ago, which is.
I think you look really good right
But
now.
you like that style
I
anyway,
like
so
that
yeah.
style. You look so
Which is no,
good.
but okay, it's good. It helps. It helps me
Yes.
honestly. The only thing is I'm gonna stop fantasizing about my biceps because as I did more isolation work, I give myself a tendinopathy in the left one, and that's been hurting my shoulder for like 8 months now because I keep training through it. But I'm managing to make progress, but I have to stop the assistance work on the bicep. It's just
I
whatever.
never fully understand that that idea you have about your physique where you want the small waist and the biceps. I think you look
Arnold Schwarzenegger,
great
man.
like this.
I know, but there's
What
sorry,
is
there's a wind, so and it's
we
end
have
of summer,
seats
so we're
and
getting
stuff
seats
like
anyway.
that.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, man.
Yes, but
Men have the right to have body dysmorphia too. It's not just for women. Equality of the sexes. Thank you. We can have body
no, I
dysmorphia.
know it's a big thing, but that's why I kind of
It
like
is body
say it
dysmorphia.
because I
If
just
you
don't think
if
I
you
don't think
basically get to the stage where you hurt yourself, like in my case of my bicep, in order to look a certain way, that's the definition of body
yes,
dysmorphia. By the way.
but I think you look great like this. This is
I
totally
feel a
your
lot better. I
style.
gotta tell you, I
Yes.
feel a lot better. I started to feel a lot better when I hit around 240.
Yeah.
Like 240 is my weight, really. 250 now, I feel very strong. Yes, thicker waist, but like all the weights are going up. And so the reason I got bigger, honestly, is because the weights are going up. Like
Yeah.
I'm really chasing the weights, but one of the big things I did is I cut the volume and I really based everything on recovery, which means I don't hit an exercise until I can kill it. So my training philosophy right now, when I look at an exercise, is hell yeah or fuck no.
Which is
Fuck yeah or hell no, depending on how
which
you
is a
look
good
at it.
attitude after
Right,
life,
right.
right?
So every exercise I go into, I go into to PR. Not that it's gonna happen every time, but that's the attitude.
Yeah.
And so I go with heavy weight, one set only, not three sets, one set only, of usually 4 or 5 reps, as heavy as I can make it. I think one of the biggest difference is my warm up also.
Mm.
My warm up is very short. I do 1 or 2 reps per sets
Yeah.
just to feel the movement, just to get blood, nothing else. I don't do longer sets. I don't get exhausted by my last set.
Yeah.
I just get there, hit it really hard, done.
Yeah, that's really how you taught me also to lift. Like I really
Yeah.
love that way of lifting.
But the big difference overall, to answer your question, is the choice of exercises. That's really that. So I cut down completely on non-assistance work, on isolation and stuff like that. And I focused on what I know makes me strong, which is what I wanted to talk about today anyway, because I wanted to talk about sandbag versus barbell,
Yeah. So
strongman movement versus barbell.
before we go in there, like,
Yep.
did you like people are gonna ask like, do you still eat the protocol?
Oh yeah, I'm still on the protocol.
So
I get my heavy cream in my coffee in the morning, usually the first three.
yeah.
I might be abusing coffee a bit lately, I won't lie. That's because I have zero sugar, so I can have more coffee. So I'm really happy. So I'm really having more coffee. So yes, I'm going to have to back down on that. But I'm enjoying the coffee, but zero sugar, not even dark
Yeah.
chocolate. So yeah, I'm still on the protocol. So
You've been eating well. Like, you've
Yeah.
been eating well.
I've been eating more, obviously, to get to 250, right? But the key is, so the key of the protocol, we'll make an episode about that, is zero sugar, no gluten, and we don't have grains. So we use tapioca a lot, which is a legume, I think. You may correct me on this. It might be a grain, but I don't think it is. I think it's a legume.
If I'm not mistaken, it's cassava, which is like
It's a legume, right? I think it's a
like
plant. Yeah, but so it's yeah.
It's a plant. It's a bit the same.
I don't think it's a
as
grain.
Carrot, no? It's a bit the same as
Yeah,
a
well,
carrot
it's
and a
between a
potato.
carrot and a potato, really.
Yeah.
So I think it's a legume. Anyway, we use tapioca, so we have no gluten, no sugar, very low inflammatory stuff, very little dairy product. And what we do twice a week at night, we have sushi. Well, otherwise, most of the time is just red meat at night. It's protocol and no protein during the day. I've been eating eggs, which made me tired the first week, but now I'm at a place where I can digest it without having a dump in parasympathetic. So eggs is a lot of fats anyway. So, animal fats, protocol. No protein during the day. Eggs is protein, but you know what I mean. Red meat at night. Red meat at night. And we cut it twice a week with sushi.
Yeah, for me, I can't
That's
even
it.
have the tapioca at the moment.
Yeah.
Cutting weight.
No, plus it's not good for you. It
No,
makes
it's
you
not
it
good
makes
for
you gain
me.
weight, but the
Yes.
wrong kind of
I
weight.
just
So
stick with fruits and red meat.
yeah. So honestly, nothing has changed. By the way, we use the neoprene. I use the peg stick. I'm on the protocol. Like, do you know all the stuff I tell you about? Yeah, I'm still. Sometimes I get people asking me questions.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, people ask a lot. It's like, do you still use neoprene? Yes. Why are you not lifting with neoprene? Neoprene
Twice
is
a
the
week.
shit.
Right now it's summer. It's very hot, so I don't do it more than twice a week because it's hard for me to recover from. But twice a week and
Neoprene
protocol
is
and the peg
the
stick
shit.
and yes.
It's really great. I love neoprene.
What do you mean?
Yeah, no, but I'm just.
Yeah, no,
saying,
that's why people ask me. It's like, yeah,
just
I
because
said
you
it.
don't talk about it all. I think that's a kind of like.
Yeah.
You don't talk about stuff.
I don't
very,
post about
yes,
it. I
you
don't.
talk
I know.
about it.
But that's because we don't. It's not. We don't have the business approach to it. We just
No.
have to.
Honestly, we are in that sense a little. I would not say lazy, but we don't want to do the bullshit.
No, it's
stuff.
not laziness. It's just no. It's not laziness.
When it comes to marketing and everything.
No, like, for example, let's talk about podcasts for a second. We're going to see the disappearance of podcasts that are there to just inform you.
Yeah.
That's going away. I got news for you, like the podcast like this. We are not, if you see, like, we don't monetize. I don't play with the thumbnail. I don't play with the title and everything. We get 500 views per episode, maybe 1,000. My people, thank you, all of you.
Yeah, no, but
Shout out to Arturo. Arturo keeps giving me like a super like, $20. Dude, Arturo, you're the man. I didn't even ask.
you're so
But
nice,
Arturo,
yes.
you keep doing it. Thank you. That helps because, again, we don't monetize, so we don't do this for money, obviously. It's just for the content. But it really helps to know that someone is happy enough about our effort, that he donates money.
Yes,
it's very much appreciated.
Yes, and he takes the time also to send the money and to put like a comment and
Thank
everything. It's so nice.
Thank you. It's really cool. Thank you.
It's
Like
really,
it's
really
yeah,
nice.
it's super nice.
But yeah, we do this really for just the people that follow the template.
No, but we give
and
you the
your
information
people,
we think is valid. So yes, opinion are always facts, obviously, but okay, that type of thing is going to go away because the business of YouTube, with the algorithm and everything, we're facing the same issue of everybody has to be controversial. Everybody has to make blank statements. Well, my answers are always it depends. I mean, because it depends. So like. That business, that's why we don't do things a certain way because we're not going that route.
Yeah.
We're going to do what we do. Like I haven't changed. We're going to do what we do. Yeah, some people got not upset, but like, we're like, why are you going with autism? Why are you going with anxiety? Because I saw a need for it. And the stuff with UCLA is progressing forward. We have the big study in July because I can.
Well,
that's why I did it.
Because you want to help people.
No, but that's the point. Is
You're
I can.
passionate about it.
That's
And you're
why I
very
did it.
smart.
So
And
yeah, I
very
took
good.
a step back on movement. That didn't stop. They mean I'd stopped training. I trained too much volume, not enough strength. Because there's a commitment mentally there that I did cheat on. Like that part is true. It's true that I cheat on strength for a while because I got that one. Uh, the
What do I have to do with this?
I always blame you for everything. Anyway, so and she was pissed too. I mean, but you're my main bitch now,
I'm
so
your
it's
main
okay.
bitch,
It's
But
not.
she
Yeah, there we
didn't
go.
did you ask for it? Did you have to buy her jewelry?
Well, she's beating my ass now for it because now
Listen.
that I cheated on strength and I'm coming back to her,
Yeah.
she's pissed and she's letting me know where have you been.
Yeah. Well, you haven't approached
There.
it. You haven't blamed me for it.
Yeah, obviously. Is that not marriage? Come on.
Listen, you should have approached it much better. Like you didn't
Like,
even show up with
how
jewelry.
would a woman would? Yeah, exactly. Show
I'm
up
not
with
gonna tell you that
jewelry.
because
Yeah,
then you're gonna
exactly.
use it against
Please,
me.
all the guys are like, please tell me how. Anyway.
All I'm saying is that those are real secrets.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, those will cost you
Yeah.
more than the super thanks. I can tell you that. Anyway, it's true
At
that.
least like a fucking diamond. Come on.
Well, that's how it feels like right now. I can tell you that. But it's true that I, in a way, cheated on strength. Is that my commitment was not as focused as it is now. I was doing volume and I wanted to gain muscle, but more bodybuilding type, see my abs, all that stuff. Where our strength, again, is a cruel mistress. Is that's what you're doing
Yeah.
if you want to get really fucking strong. So that's why like the 120 kilo sandbag made me clean, made me very happy because that allows me to be in a room. It allows me to stand in a room of strong people, at least in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it allows me to feel like, all right, I belong into a class of strong people. That makes me happy, and honestly, I've missed that. I feel much more calm, much more secure, much happier being strong like that. And so, like all the physique stuff, like wanting to see my abs, all it did was to give me anxiety, negativity, hurt me everywhere, and I'm doesn't do shit for me anyway. I like to be really strong. So
I like when you're very strong.
yeah, no, but there was a the thing with being really strong is it's truly a commitment. Like you gotta put everything you got in it because otherwise you just get broken. So
just so I'm realizing that if I'm the main bitch, you mean that you have a side bitch. Just for me.
oh, you just noticed I said that. Eh?
Noticed
That took a minute there.
Dude,
That took a minute. No threesome going with strength and everything. Hey, you train strength too, so it works that way. I mean, it's a three-way relationship. I'm just saying.
Jesus.
Strength is part of our life, honey.
Mm.
There you go. Modern family. Yeah, modern relationships. Whatever it's called. Yeah, whatever the fuck the youngsters call it now. Anyway.
The youth.
Where was I? Anyway, yeah, so I wasn't. Now that I'm back to training as I should, and we're going to talk about that today, I feel much better. So, yes, you saw me back on the lifting, heavy and everything. I didn't post as much before because. Honestly, the weights were not worthy of being posted.
No Instagram.
I'm like, oh look, I'm doing a stiff leg with 120 kilos. Yay! If there's not 4 plates on the bar, I'm not putting it. I mean, it's like my bench. When I bench 4 plates, you're gonna know about it.
Yeah.
Trust me. But not before.
Gonna...
Yeah, not before that.
No.
That's all. So.
No, I mean.
But that makes me.
You never see me post my bench
but
press.
But I didn't go away from Strongfit either. Like the anxiety, the autism stuff. Those are important things, and it turns out I can do that. So, with great power comes great responsibility. At least that's the way I've always thought. And so, I wasn't shitting on you guys. I was shitting on strength, but not on you guys. I'm still being around, and so now I'm back at it. And so, looking back, should I have stayed within strength and commit more? Yes, 100%, because I feel so much better physically, mentally. There's no question that I should not have stepped away from strength as much as I did. My mistake, like honestly, I tell you guys stuff. I make mistakes too. I made the same mistakes I tell you not to make. Sometimes.
Jesus.
Parts of me. This part alien, part human. I mean, we are Venom, all of us together. Anyway, so the mistakes I tell you not to make, I make them too. Like I got caught up too much into the bodybuilding stuff because also like we were in Rio and here and we train with pro bodybuilders and we don't have the equipment at home at first.
The setup was not
and
great,
then I'm looking at all those dudes that are on the juice obviously but round and lean and you go, hey, I would like to look like that. And 6 months later, you're not training the way you should. Like it gets to you. Like it's good, but also I chose that because it's easier than lifting heavy.
Well, I feel like that's also like
honestly
the thing is that especially because you're building. I mean, how I kind of can see it too. It's like you're building all the stuff with autism and anxiety, and that takes a lot out of you, right? And to do strength and
Yeah, but
building
no
something
excuse.
new.
No, no
No,
excuse.
but I'm saying not an excuse.
No, it was easier. That's all. No,
Yeah,
it
okay.
was easier. That's all. It wasn't simpler. It was easier. Like that's on me. That's all.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I make mistakes too. Like I got, you know, and something COVID, like the strong fit things, the way it happened.
I mean,
No, it was just easier not to do it. That's all. It's no, it's on me.
Gave a big dent. I feel like.
No, but again, all those are excuses. I no, you stick to the plan. You move forward in the right direction. I just no, it's just on me.
Yeah.
I just the mistakes I made. I make them too, and that was 100% on me on that one.
Yeah, I know. I mean.
I believe that's the dog that just escaped the house. So you'll know what that noise was if you hear it. Okay, cool. So it's not the dog. Everything happens. Anyway, so how did I get myself back to strong as I was talking? Because that's actually a conversation I wanted to have over Sandbag. And Sandbag, I mean Sandbag, the sled, rope pulls, no, the yokes, or like the strong fit movement, like the what? They're not strong fit. Like I didn't invent those movements. All that stuff existed before me. It's like that strongman, strong fit type of thing. So I say strong fit in the sense of the movements I like to use the most versus barbell, right? Which one is better? And every time I say that, there's always a part of people that lose their mind. So funny story. It was on whatever community, probably Facebook, and a guy asked the question, can you get strong with just a sandbag, a yoke, and a sled? And I was like, yeah, you can get fucking strong just with that. It's like, I mostly don't use the barbell. I'm mostly in those movements, especially at the time. And I'm like, I got really strong, not using the barbell very little. And that conversation basically devolved into I'm saying that the instead of the conversation being can you get strong without a barbell, pretty much with that equipment turned into that equipment is better than the barbell, which is not what I was trying to say. There's a place for everything, but it's hilarious because the guy got so pissed he ratted me out to CrossFit 2 weeks later. I know it's him because I don't have haters and I had no I've never any of those conversations outside of that one. But 2 weeks later, I get a letter from a lawyer of CrossFit saying you're bashing the CrossFit methodology.
What? That happened? I didn't even know that.
That one time, yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. And which is funny because that particular lawyer lived in Utrecht because they had moved their stuff in Amsterdam. Yeah. And so they're like, you're bashing the methodology. I was like, lady, ask about me everywhere you want. They will all tell you I'm a defender of the methodology of CrossFit.
I mean, I'm going to ask you what's the name of the lawyer, but you don't remember.
I don't remember. But I thought it was pretty hilarious because the guy ratted me out saying, he's saying you can't be strong without a barbell. No, the question was, can you be strong without using a barbell? The answer is yes.
Yes, of course.
Yes. And so I want to use a little bit. I'm going to talk about the sandbag, but again, rope pulls and all that stuff. The reason I want to talk about it is because I want to say that the usage of the sandbags and everything is very important, and I want to explain why. And I think why it's more and more important because I see something happening in the fitness industry that I believe is going to be detrimental to our way of moving. And I'm going to use specific examples for that. So, to set up the terrain for my conversation, I'm going to use Disney because it's my favorite example.
Can you get something else for once?
No, until Disney is the zombie it should be.
I feel like everybody, well, except your Disney, because I feel like you have more nerds that watch this podcast. But
no, most people know what Disney is. That has nothing to do with nerds. Yes, well, that's your problem. Okay. So Disney. So the problem that you see at Disney right now is that the financial people are in charge of the artistic people. And they're supposed to be, working together, and instead one group starts to control the other. What you end up with is a complete bankruptcy of creative ideas because those financial people hire the people they could control, therefore not artists, but rather pencil pushers and people that would accept their way of thinking and their orders. And so after a while, they fire all the good people, mostly white guys, because that's a time of Me Too movement, starting with John Lasseter. And they just put pencil pusher, they put managers in place instead of artists. And now you end up with them not being capable of doing any animation anymore or any movies or any of that shit. So they lost more than 56% of their stock value.
It's pretty nuts what's happening.
It's crazy.
And
it's
the
crazy.
stuff they're bringing out right now is really,
it's so
really
shit.
Crazy.
And that's what I want to talk about, because the simple thing that happened is financial people, because Bob Iger or those guys are just financial people taking control over everybody else, which is what happens when that corporate thing takes over control. In the fitness industry, we have that with the physios. We have the corporate physio, which means the guy that learn in school and is not outside of that. And I'm not talking necessarily right now, because that new generation of physio is much better. But I'm talking about the much better. I'm talking about the older generation, so the guys that are 40 plus, 50 plus, about outside of CrossFit, because CrossFit is better for that. But if you remember, we about like probably 20 years ago, the physio started to really rule the fitness industry. At least in LA, it was pretty crazy to watch. And the problem is, physios know anatomy, not movement. So they were very good when it came to joints, after surgery, putting you back 6 weeks, and then after that, go move. They needed to increase the business, because there were so many of them in physio school, that they started to go into movement, and then they were like, we're smarter than you trainers, we're going to take over. And so what we're facing now is really the same situation that Disney is facing. The physios rule the personal training. So and a lot of the strength as well. So you hear that conversation about posture all the time.
Yes.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh. It's so much bullshit, let's be honest, right? So you got posture, you got how to fix your squat is fix your ankles.
Oh, yeah.
If you think the reason you're not squatting 300 kilos is because of your ankles,
you're a pussy.
you don't understand. Yeah, anyway, so and again, they're not promising you 300 kilos, but at the same time, they are telling you that the problem with your squat is your ankle mobility, which is insane.
No.
That is let me put it this way. It is insane to look at that first.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way.
I mean,
the reason you don't bench is because you're not doing that shit with your shoulder for your rotator cuff. Is an insane idea. I've been saying it forever. Yeah. I got bashed by plenty of people because they were sucking the dicks of physio anytime they could. It's like, oh, physio! You know what I mean? Anyway, the video is not monetized, so I do whatever the fuck I want. Anyway, and then you work pussies out there. There you go.
Oh gosh.
So
we take the worst out of each other when it comes to this types of jokes.
I call it the best out of each other.
Yeah.
It's the worst day of your life. Worst day of your life so far. Bart Simpson. Anyway.
That's a good quote.
Yeah. And so they started to control the narrative.
Yes.
Because they're borderline activists. They were. Like, again, the new generation is much better. But that generation, like the older physio, they got in and they basically pushed the trainers away, saying, you don't know shit, we know better, we're going to take over.
Oh, yeah.
It was a monetary decision for them. They just wanted the business. And so they started to get, we are medical professionals, and so we're going to take over. And the trainers were like, okay. And so a lot of the fitness industry is controlled by that fucking ankle thing. So let me give you an example as to what I'm talking about and why I think functional fitness is the solution. And I'm going to incorporate a lot of stuff in that. But what I want to explain, because that goes to the Sandbag versus Barbell argument, is functional fitness is better than traditional barbell-oriented fitness. So, for example, Martin Lissis was the world's strongest man in 2019. A friend of mine, I competed against him as a 231. And a year later, he weighs 100 pounds more. I was like, I didn't know he was the same guy, honestly. He looked so different. Wow. Yeah, his waist quadruple. Yeah. And then, by the way, world's strongest man. He's so strong. He has no business being as strong as he is because he's so much smaller than everybody else. Yeah. When I met him, he was like 240. Yeah. He had like six-pack, tiny waist. Yeah. Oh, yeah, and extremely athletic. So athletic. Dude could do pistols at 330, 15 strict pull-ups at 330. Yeah, down and up. Like, oh, yeah. The dude is so athletic. It's crazy. And one-arm push-ups, the whole stuff. At 330. Oh, no, it's ridiculous. Anyway, he had to quit last year because his hip was so painful. In between each event, he was on the ground basically for 30 minutes, and he was like, all right, I'm done. And so he quit last year his pro strongman career. Then he started to do jiu-jitsu, got in shape, and those are his words. Jiu-jitsu fixed his hip better than any physio he did. You have to understand, Martin Lissis is someone who's very smart, very methodical, and did a lot of rehab. Like he filmed it, he was always in rehab, always doing prehab, rehab, physio. And in an interview, his words, he said, Jiu-Jitsu fixed my hip. He started to make me move in certain position and movements in a way that I could not replicate in the gym. That fixed my hip to the point that he's going to compete in the Arnold Classic in 2 weeks.
That is amazing.
Right. But
That
you
is
know,
really
see what happens
cool.
in Jiu-Jitsu is you can't think. You don't have the time to go, I'm going to put my hand there and then do this and do that stuff. You have to move. That's the principle of functional fitness.
That's so
Is
cool.
movement based, not anatomy based. It's not about moving the arm like that 20 times and with the bend and it's about moving correctly. Like in his case of his hips, he's moving in every direction. One might say internal torque on that one, but that's a longer conversation. What I find hilarious, and I don't bash anybody, so I'm not going to tell anybody by name, but I remember very well 2 years ago a specific physio that has a big
I
following.
want to say so bad.
No, that helps people with his squat. That's his thing is the squat. He's actually have an online school system for the squat. Not to give his name. Anyway, say we're gonna fix the world's strongest man hip and his squat and everything. 6 months later, you don't hear anything. You know why? Because if anything, I don't know if he made it worse, but it sure didn't help his hip, right? And so, fast forward, he does a year of jiu-jitsu, and that allows me to come back to his present career. So, is jiu-jitsu the way to fix your hip? Well,
It's a bit of a rough
everybody,
way to go at it.
everybody should do jiu-jitsu. But anyway, the point is not jiu-jitsu. The point is that he started moving in natural ways. So, it's not physio that helped him the most for his hip. It's moving in natural ways. So, that's that's the argument I'm making for the sandbag. Honestly, is that the sandbag makes you move in a specific way because you don't have a choice. So my point is that the sandbag is so much more functional. Try to do a front squat with a sandbag or a heavy clean or whatever. You don't have time to think. Not like with a barbell where you have your positioning, you have your specific movement, you have this, you have that. That's great. With a sandbag, you put your hands, you clean, you can't think, and the amount of stabilization, control, the awkwardness of the sandbag really takes your head away because at that moment, all you have to focus, what you're focusing on is the sandbag and trying to get it up.
That's what she said.
Exactly. And so it's the same thing with the rope pull in a way. That's the idea of the lowest, right? How much thinking do you do on the rope pull? Like, yes, you can fuck it up, but you get the idea, right? But there's also a lot of gripping in it. Like, you have to go through your hand, right? The rope pull is better than. So, for example, like, yes, Olympic weightlifting is amazing. It's very aesthetic. It's beautiful to watch and everything. Is it as much into functional fitness as strongman movement? Give me a break. Look at the grip of Olympic weightlifting. What is this? The hook grip. When will you ever use that shit? A barbell is not about the opposite of what you find in nature. If you look the amount of weight you can put on such a small amount of space, it's ridiculous. Everything in nature you have to squeeze in order to lift.
Yes.
What you cannot do that with a barbell where you can just hook grip. The hook grip allows you to almost relax your hands. You just lock. You're not squinting.
Lock your fingers in.
You lock your fingers and that's it. But you don't have to like squeeze every single muscle of your hand and your forearm and everything in order to lift the thing. Like, you're not going to tell me that a hook grip-wise is as interesting as grabbing a rope. By the way, there's close hand grip, open hand, different planes of movement and everything. No, Olympic weightlifting is not the epitome of functional fitness. What is the purpose of Olympic weightlifting outside of serving with a barbell? And yes, you can use it for certain things because, again, with a barbell, it's far more convenient than a sandbag. But that's the argument, though. It's convenience. Yes, it's more convenient to use a barbell and cheaper usually.
Yeah. Well, stop being
that's
American. Not everything is about convenience.
My point. It's that. So.
Love you, Americans.
Yeah, exactly. No, but it's true. It's not always.
It's always like, I feel like the angle's always like convenience. Like I'm just like whatever. Like
Right.
whatever.
That's not the question. The question is, for example, like is lifting a sandbag better than a barbell? So there is part of me that thinks that even though I use the barbell, I like the barbell, but are sandbag better for functional fitness? Yes. For overall strength? Yes. For overall health, overall physical health, mobility, stuff like that? Yes, it is better. I go back to also myotomes, where everything is movement pattern, not, and this is where we differ with the physios the most. They look at joint first, leading to muscle. I look at myotomes. I look at nervous system leading into patterns. We have a fundamentally different way of looking at the human body. Them is joint activate muscle, and I had arguments about that. Where me, it's no, the spine activates movement patterns. So it's completely different conversation. At least, and maybe I'm wrong. This is my opinion, but in my way of thinking, then a sandbag is vastly superior to a barbell. And sandbag again, I mean, sorry, the ants are coming. I mean, rope pulls. I mean, the yoke carry, the stuff like that. You can work an array of movement with all those exercise that no a barbell cannot duplicate. Can duplicate some of it, but not all of it. So, and again, that's the convenience when I start to say you need to do yoke carry. I don't have a yoke. And fucking find one. That's not the conversation we're having right now. We're not having a conversation what is easier for you, because that's what they're selling you, all that stuff. That's why Disney is basically hiring the people that are the easiest for them to control, and they go like, oh look, they have cookie cutter script, cookie cutter movies where we're gonna have a little bit of women and a little bit of black lesbians here and a little bit of gay guy here, and they think the cookie cutter allows for art. Well, we all know it doesn't work like that. The training right now is based on convenience. Yeah, but look, you can add a kilo there. You can add a kilo in a sandbag. Yeah, but I would have to open it and close it. It's like, yes, but that's not the conversation. They're tricking the conversation into simplified narrative, because it's easier for you to accept, and they're appealing to your want instead of telling you you have to do hard work. And that's, by the way, that's what the sandbag is. 200-pound sandbag, 200-pound barbell, you know the difference between the two. The sandbag, so Einstein was wrong in that, is that gravity does not affect the sandbag the same way it affects the barbell, that's for sure. Because this sandbag at 200 pounds weighs a lot more than the barbell at 200 pounds.
I feel like, especially with physios, they always want to give an absolute answer. Like there's always like one solution, and it's black or it's white. Where really it depends, especially if you have an injury
that's
and
a business.
everything.
Yeah, that's business.
Multiple,
Yeah, that's business. So they go like, well, in school I learned, then they put you to certain things, and you realize, yeah, movement. If the movement pattern is incorrect, I don't care how much rehab you do, you're gonna have to come back every single time, which is great business, by the way. So anyway, it's not to bash the physio, it's to say I think those movements, like the strongman, strongfit movements, are better than the barbell at getting you stronger. And so that's what I've been relying on, right? I love the monster dumbbell, or even the one arm barbell press, but I love the monster dumbbell for pressing. I like the log on top because the grip is not always, it's not always pronated. Sometimes it's neutral as well. I love clean and press the sandbag. So that's why I was giving my favorite exercise, because how did I get back to being very strong? I use heavy sandbags for the clean and press. Lot of I love the cleans with sandbag, but a lot of squats with them as well. The rope pull is still one of my favorite exercises. The farmer's carry is great. Farmer's holds, overhead yoke carries. Like you can do so much. And yes, I use the barbell, and I use, for example, I like the dumbbells. Honestly, heavy dumbbells better than the barbell. You need to have heavier dumbbells, so that's a problem. But that being said, yes, I use the barbell, but most of the stuff that I do is the Strongfit movement you know me for. And do I think those are better to get strong overall? Yes. We're gonna have to define what we call strong, right? It's like, is the strongest deadlift, for example, the strongest person? Not necessarily. For me, strong means I can be strong wrestling. I can, again, it's the 260 clean. If you can clean a 260 sandbag, you're strong overall. You're strong for wrestling, for jiu-jitsu, for anything you want to do. You'll be a headache to handle. I mean, whether it's a street fight, whether it's grappling, whether it's all that, it's just there's very specific strength for all that. That, like, you see, like all the old school wrestlers were also strongman performers.
Yeah.
and they were doing like crazy movement and one arm snatch and stuff like that. There was a lot more than just the snatch and the clean and all of that. We should put back the one arm snatch. Um, Pressing the dumbbell, I think, is an amazing exercise. Try to put like a 185 dumbbell overhead, and man, like that works every single muscle in your body in a way that I've never felt any other way. The heavy monster dumbbell has to be one of the greatest exercise ever. It's unilateral, right? So it's not two hand, it's one hand. So you have to stabilize like crazy. For the core, for your upper back, for just cleaning it alone is a workout, and then pressing it, you have to have it's every muscle in your body in a way that is very hard to duplicate, right?
Yeah. Well,
The thickness of the handle makes it very hard. You know what I mean, it makes it harder than normal than a smaller handle. After that, it's a sandbag clean and press, sandbag front squat, max clean, farmer's walk, some yoke carry. Honestly, like explain to me which movement pattern you haven't done under heavy load by doing that, and you can push the intensity because those are safer exercise.
well, and that's actually what I mean. So when I was sprinting, had a lot of physio and everybody like fixing me all the time, and I'd always pain somewhere. When I quit and I started to do all the strong fit stuff, I never squatted or deadlifted before I started powerlifting, and I worked with the strong fit principles and everything, and I got very strong doing just
Yeah.
that. And then when we went to the barbell, actually I had to learn how to use the barbell.
Right.
For example, in my week
That's
right
true,
now,
yeah.
you see me use the barbell more often, but that's not because to be strong. It's just to learn the movement, to
Right,
express the
it's
strength.
because yes,
But it was
for the
actually-
competition because she's
for the
competing.
competition.
Yeah,
But the craziest
that's
thing
not how
to
she got strong.
No, that's
we
not
just
how I got strong.
that's how she's expressing her
Yes,
strength.
and actually that's what the interesting part. I have zero pain because I learned all the right tension with all
And
the
she keeps
movements.
training with the other movements. So
Yes,
we're showing
it's
you
so
the
interesting.
fancy stuff with the barbell. But again, that's not how
That's-
she's getting strong. That's just
No.
how she's expressing it.
Yeah, and that's actually what when I started to do that more and more and everything, you go like, Jesus, this is really the way to go. It's with getting strong. It's a
Yeah.
strong fit movement.
So does that mean you're going to lose some time building that structure and all
Takes
those
time.
movement compared to the barbell? Yes, and that's a downside. Is you're going to have to spend time on the other stuff, which means you're spending less time on the barbell, so you won't be as efficient, as fast as someone who only does the barbell. That's very true. But I think you'll last longer and you'll get stronger by doing it
And
all
you
way.
get less hurt because you already have the strength. So once you
Yeah.
go to the barbell, it's just figuring
My
out
way
to work
really
with the
is to
barbell.
build a strength athlete that will express himself strength-wise through X. Powerlifting,
sport.
Olympic, weightlifting, whatever. I believe that's the correct way of training. Become stronger overall, express it in a sport. The idea of specializing in a sport early or right away in order to get better at that, and again, that's my opinion, but I believe for strength sports, that is the way to do it. Get strong overall and express it through the barbell if you want to, in whatever sport you choose. But that's not the way of getting strong. That's just a way to express your strength. So if you just work with the barbell, yes, you'll be able to express your strength faster because you'll get better at the barbell. But it will also limit you in the long run, I believe, into getting strong. And most of the people that are stuck on certain lift, I have to take toward the sandbag squats or the stuff and everything to build a structure that allows them, therefore, after that, to be strong with a barbell. The barbell is a test of strength. I don't think it's the best builder of strength.
Yeah,
At least that's the way I look at it.
I really believe in that.
Yeah. So how did I get back to that strong? By doing the strong fit movements. And if you want, I'll post more of it. But at least that is my way of seeing the problem. And I think that right now we are starting to move. I'm worried that if CrossFit goes corporate, like unfortunately I believe they will, we're going to lose a grip on the functional fitness stuff. And if we lose that grip, the old school physio, the corporate one, will jump in and try to get control of the training narrative again. And then we're going to be back to losing intensity and pussy workouts and the stuff we were doing before CrossFit, because especially after what CrossFit did is they're leaving a gap if they start to go corporate, and people will have to go somewhere. And I kind of fear where that will go, because I know what happens. The business people will jump in, try to redirect the stuff that's high rocks in Europe. Like they're gonna try to feast on the corpse of CrossFit, and all we're gonna get is a lesser form of Strongfit. So I'm afraid, like with the physio and all that crap, what we're gonna get is a lesser form of Olympic weightlifting because it's not a good sport for most people to learn. Honestly, overhead squat. I had a lot of clients that will never do an overhead squat in their life, and they should not, by the way.
But
Neither should they.
that's the thing. It's like functional fitness was really also for like for people to have a healthier overall life. Like it had nothing to do with necessarily learning movements that you will not use in your daily life or not useful or even hurtful to your daily
You know
life.
what you're getting better at when you get good at overhead squat? Overhead squat. That's what you're getting better at. That's all. And so, and again, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me like getting better overhead squat give you this and this and that. I don't see it. I don't see it because it takes so much time to be good at overhead squat and be able. You have to do that constantly. You have to get.
It's a trade-off,
You have to
right?
get
Like
good
the
at it.
risk of
Yeah, there are no
energy.
solutions,
Yeah.
only trade-offs. And the amount of time you have to put in that movement, I'm sorry, could be much better served being used. I'd say so. Do I believe in the CrossFit methodology? 100%. My only thing me is choosing the exercises differently. Like for example, CrossFit with the strongman movement, like we saw at the games, for example, to me is a much better way of doing all that. So, can you be strong with a sandbag? Yeah. Versus a barbell? Yeah. Do I think those movements are better than the barbell? Even though I like the barbell, yes, I do. I believe they fit the idea of functional fitness better. If you're gonna have to wrestle a bear tomorrow, which way are you gonna train? Olympic weightlifting or strongman? You know what I mean?
Honestly,
Type
like
of
if
thing.
it was not for building up to a competition, I would only do strongman.
No, but and if you want to be good at the barbell, there's no issue with that. You're gonna have to work with the barbell. We're talking like how much one versus the. But can you take away the barbell and still be strong? Fuck yeah. There's plenty of old school people that were very very strong without using barbells.
Well, and if
By
you,
the way, do you know that the squat started with really in America and in Russia because he's the one who introduced the Russian to squatting because before they were not doing that was Paul Anderson.
no way, I
Yeah.
didn't know that. That's
Yeah.
so
So the squat, like heavy squat, like we pretend it's been around forever. The barbell has been around for like 100 to 100, 120, 150 years. It was non-rotating barbell at the time. It was an axle. He was a French strongman that took an axle of a chariot, Apollo, and then started pressing it overhead and everything. After that, we started to have the rotating stuff, but that was for snatching and clean and jerks. The barbell really was introduced by Paul Anderson to the Russian, who started to squat all the time. That's 1970, 60 something. It's only been 60 years.
interesting.
We pretending like it's the only way to get strong, but there was plenty of strong people prior to all this.
Well, you have to see it as a whole too. Like if you're gonna teach someone who's not familiar with the squat to squat with a barbell, the risk of injury, the risk of not knowing
That's
the
another
movement, not being
conversation.
able to use the
But
intensity that you
we'll
can use
talk
with a
about that
sandbag.
next time because my dear wife forgot to charge the iPad and we are at 1%, so we have to end this podcast
So your
there.
side chick didn't charge the iPad?
No, that's my main shit job because she helps me with the business.
I have
You want me to
responsibilities.
go back to the? I mean, I'm asking. No, there we go.
I'm
Still
sorry.
married. We're good.
Oh shit, that's really true.
That's
We
what
only
I'm
had
saying.
1%.
And we see you guys next
I'm
time.
so sorry.
Bye, buddy.